And welcome back to Mindfully with Tunmise, the podcast. Okay, so today I'm extremely excited. But before I go to why I am excited, I need to tell you that it's been such an honor, such privilege to have amazing people come speak with me here. Um, Sometimes it's been challenging, though most people have been my friends. And this season, we're touching on, or the series, however way you want to say it, we're touching on certain things that might not sit well, but I believe they are conversations that we should begin to have for the sake of ourselves, our future, our children, myself, you. Welcome again. My name is Oluwatumishi Oladapo Kuku. So, there's a lot of question around what they say now. They call it generational whatever. So I have a problem. This is me with greatest gen, silent gen, baby boomers, Gen X, millennials, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, Gen Zelda, whatever. So I have a huge challenge with that because I think that with us trying to what's the word I'm looking for now? With us trying to give ourselves parameters of how a particular generation or a set of people born between one time and one time things is just limiting the extent of the potential of humans. And that personally that's me. Oh, I know that this will come as but it is okay. I can take it. Right. So today, for want of a better, for one of I have a. Is it? Are you a Gen Z or a millennial? No, you're Gen Z. Kind of. You see, he doesn't even believe in it. Kind of. And I have Kehinde in the studio. How are you today?
I'm still breathing. I'm grateful for life.
Oh, you're breathing. An interesting choice of word. What does it mean that you're breathing?
Yeah, I'm alive, grateful, appreciating the life, a gift that God has given me today. So yeah.
How beautiful. Okay, so my second question. Are you a tourist in life or are you a traveler?
I'm a traveler. I'm a traveler.
Okay, explain that.
Because I love to experience how life is. I love to see how things are being from different perspective. So even if you ask me what is my hobby, it's part of what I'm going to tell you, that I love traveling. I love, exploring. I was talking to someone, I think a day or two. I was like, if I'm going to choose between flight and traveling by road, I'll choose road because I love to see things. Like when I'm traveling, I love to just explore. Okay, let me learn new things and all that. So in life, I'm a traveler.
Oh, that's beautiful. So would you say that has impacted the way you relate with life, with people, with yourself?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. On the larger stage, it does.
Okay, so what is how will I put this now? What is the greatest story so far as a traveler that you have?
Well, I've had kind of a different perspective in terms of as a story as a traveler. So being also from a polygamous home.
I told you it was going to come up. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. So I love to just, hear people's perspective. I tend to reflect based on, because I don't tend to judge people, just randomly. So I tend to just reflect, observe. Some of my friends will be like, God, sometimes I will just be looking. At that point, I'm observing a lot of things. So a friend of mine has noticed that about me. So he was like, I've seen you sometimes, you just be quiet, looking around. What's going on? I'm like, that's just me. I just like to observe. I like to take my time to see the way things are before I can react to things. So it's just that's exploring part of me being so, and I like to get clarity on things. It's very, very important in anything I do. Clarity is very important. So being a traveler is just that's kind of it's just part of me that in everything I do, both my journey as a Christian, I take my time, to see everything that is going to, if it resonates well with me, then I'm good to go with everything.
All right. So, would you say that being from a polygamous home has made you, this kind of person that lives by experience?
Not that, not 100%, but I think it's kind of contribute to that kind of because my experience from a polygamous home, I've seen the way my siblings, the way everyone is, so the way we relate to each other. So it doesn't really it doesn't really contribute to a very large extent, but it's just, I think for me, it's just my own, because even being from a polygamous home, every one of us have our own side, perspective, the way we see things. So for me, it's not really, it's not something that's big for me to say, okay, I come from a polygamous home, it affects my experience and all that. No.
Nah. Okay. All right. So the big word out there, especially around Gen Z, is patriarchy. Like everybody picks patriarchy and throws it at patriarchy, and then picks feminism and patriarchy. They are fighting constantly. And you and I know that you go to Twitter.
Yes.
Yesterday there was still some form of gender war on Twitter. Somebody saying that talking about girls coming abroad to do something. So in your own experience and your own word, what is patriarchy?
Okay. First, okay, from the question, what is patriarchy? From my own experience, I think patriarchy is a form of putting men above women. Like is a kind of how can I put it? It's a kind of norms that people see that, okay, normally men are head. Men are supposed to be head, even in family, even in political positions, economically. Men are supposed to take charge and all that. So that's just what I think patriarchy is. Yeah.
So where do you find yourself in patriarchy as a man?
For me, I think I say I'm neutral to that, because I don't really see patriarchy. I've not for once haven't have that thought that, okay, a man is supposed to be head, man is supposed to be charged and all that. So when if the topic comes up, I used to be like, what are you supposed to say? Like,
okay,
what?
So this is interesting. This is really interesting, because when you say that, you don't think that a man should be the head. You don't think that a man should be the provider and all that. What exactly are you saying?
Okay, in a sense that in the context of let's say in a home, I believe as a male or female coming together, they're coming to be as one. So the responsibility is something that shouldn't be solely on man or solely on woman or anyone that anybody thinks it should be. So we should come to understand that it is not a priority that because of man, because because of you're a man, this is what you're bound to do. This is what. So I feel being a man or being a woman, we are both we are all human. So being a human is what we should focus on, not being a man or being a woman.
All right, so this takes us to gender roles.
Yes.
So it is again, I'll go back to you coming from a polygamous. I know that you said that we might not talk about that, so unfortunately, we're talking about your perspective on patriarchy is informed by how you grew up or by conversations going on around you.
Well, like I said earlier, my growing up in a polygamous home does not really contribute to most of the belief that I have today, most of the perspective that I see from today. It doesn't really contribute to it. But I will say I tend to live only by, I hope it won't sound so religious if I'm saying
go
that.
ahead. This is you.
So I tend to live by God's word.
Okay.
So, and that is kind of a priority for me. So I don't even see anything that I don't even tend to go by what people are saying, what people are doing, or anything. I'm hardly influenced by my environment. So I tend to just take my time to understand what life really is. I'm a very curious person. So in every situation I find myself, even when I see my dad and my mom and my other stepmoms, so I just tend to look at this situation. I look at the environment. I look at what's going on. I just reflect. Okay, is this something proper? Is it? So I don't tend to say, okay, because my dad is doing this. No, yes. This is what.
All right, so for you, it's nature nurture. So you saw this, you don't think that this is how it should be. And if I'm hearing correctly, that's what you are defining as patriarchy. Like the man is the sole control,
Exactly, of
and
everything.
the woman, so
Subordinates, yeah.
in the light of again this feminism and masculinism and gender wars and all that, how you have said now that your faith also largely informs how you are, but in when you are with your people, I'm how many years away from 25 now? I'm 44. So I definitely will be thinking differently.
Yes.
And be putting and so in your circle,
Okay.
when you say this to people, who are in your circle, who are not are not pushed by their faith, are not pushed by, no, but your general age group, peer group. When you say these things, what happens? And
Okay.
I'm curious to know.
Yes, I love that. So my circle, I have different. If I'm saying my circle in quotes, I have different kind of. I belong to different circles. So in other places, okay, let's say for some people that we relate very well, like every day we relate very well. This is our norm. We don't like. We all have the same of perspective to life.
Okay.
So if we are discussing these things, in fact, I have a circle of friends that when we are talking, sometimes people used to be like, what we say is abnormal. Is not really they can't comprehend it because of it's just
because everybody okay, that's why I started the show with I'm not a believer of Gen Z, Gen X, Millennial, and all that, because everybody, the narrative out there is that Gen Zers are less resilient and probably think less deeply than this is not my own. This is what this is. And I'm just saying people are listening, and any Gen Z that will listen to this, I'm saying that someone listening to you now, and for those who are listening for the first time or were listening to Mindful with Jim Shea, this is the first day I'm actually seeing Kehinde. So it's not like we had a huge relationship before this time. So this is the first time. Yes, we've chatted, of course. And what do we chat about? Okay, when are you coming on the show? What's the title of the show? Yeah, and
okay.
so yeah, the rapport is sweet. I hope you're enjoying it. But there is no prior anything. So I'm curious to understand how your mother, your father sees you, and your twin brother even. In this way that, because trust me, I did not know how this conversation was going to go today. Because I was expecting, okay, they say it's Gen Z. I did not know how this conversation was.
Oh my god. Okay.
So I'm curious. Yeah.
Well, firstly, let me say that I don't really have that much rapport with my parents like that.
Yeah.
So I think we have never had this kind of. I've never had the opportunity to have this kind of conversation with them, or I don't know how this will sound. Even with my twin, I don't really have rapport with him because we don't even stay together. So some people still believe that. So people still ask me that, are you really a twin?
Okay, so what was it that is informing this sense of isolation from everything? I don't want to say scripture, because you're sounding very much like Romans 12:2 right now.
Okay.
So apart from Romans 12:2, what is informing this?
Okay, I think that's a good question. I was saying that, I said earlier that my growing up in a polygamous home does not affect. I think that point, the only part it's really affect more is that isolation. Yeah. So
yeah, we're getting down to
the only
it.
part,
Come on.
Yeah, because
I was beginning to
how
this Gen Z is very level-headed. Go ahead. Yeah.
So yeah, it's I think on that one, no, because we don't really see ourselves as
as family.
Yeah, those times, because everybody just tries to survive. Everybody just tries to live their own life. Just get to go with the flow. Everybody, even as times when my mom and my dad separated, that also at that point, everyone was like, okay, we are on our own now. So I had to, at the age of 16, I began to also on my own, live alone. Although I was also living in my dad's house, where so he relocated to Abeokuta. So I was still in a house where he built here in around Lagos. So everybody just separated. We are just on our own. So that's, and even where we are still together, living together, we don't have that. So imagine now we are separated. So it began to, I think, on a very large extent, that even affected my, being, I'm introverted. I think,
obviously,
yeah, I'm introverted. So from there, it was even from my own work that I began to learn how to socialize, how to go out with people. So yeah, I think.
Okay, so would you agree then that your view of patriarchy, vis-a-vis what the world thinks patriarchy is, which is in the layest term just a system of society of government where the eldest male, the father, is the head of the family, and all of that, and women are totally relegated? That is what let's say. So would you say that how you grew up, made you question patriarchy?
Honestly, if I'm going to say that, I'm to be honest now, I'm not, the word patriarchy is not something that is very familiar with me growing up. So maybe I didn't, not be familiar with the word, aside from not being familiar with the word now, maybe that's the whole idea, it has never occurred to me. It never occurred to me in quotes that, why, I've never had myself question myself on, why do a man have to be the head?
Yeah.
Why are women be treated like this in the home or in the society? I know I've never had. I think it was just I began to have those questions come up later on in life when I began from, I think, from my early 20s. So I began to just, reflect on, okay, being from a polygamous home. I began to reflect, okay, how my dad, married different women because he felt like, okay, I'm in charge. So I can do.
You need to see your face. Does that annoy you? Does that annoy you or make you like, what was it thinking?
Yeah, like, because I just like, because we have conversation sometimes on that in that regard. So he used to tell me that if care's not taken safe, I won't marry for. I said,
how old is he now?
I was like, I'll just look at him like this. This man, she really whine me and what? So it's to some extent. I can agree that to some extent my view of patriarchy is influenced to, like, but not to a very large extent, because I began to now. That's why I can now say that I don't really agree that a man should, because when I began to see, because I see that even in a home, if I get married, when I get married, like, everybody should be free with each other. Like, why should I be saying, no, I'm a man of the house?
All right, that leads me to asking you, what I heard, and I think it's still very right. I heard the whole of my life is a man's world. So what do you make of that?
It's a man's world.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to
I wish you all can see Kehinde's face. Yes, it's a man's world. That's what we hear at the time. It's a man's world. Yep.
I'm just trying to wrap my head around everything. Like, why? How would that word come about? Because how is it a man's world? Is it men that's that
feel free to say
is it men that gives birth? Is it men that conceive? No, now no.
But women can't conceive by themselves now. Well, apart from technology, but women, even with technology, you can conceive by yourself. You still have to use.
That's why I said that we should focus more on being human. Because if you are going to see it, if we're gonna go in depth to it, okay, yeah, you said that also women can conceive by themselves.
Yes.
Let's put technology aside. Yeah, that's true. So, but that's it. I would rather say it's human. Like, we are all human. It's a human's world.
Okay, so we've heard another one. Kehinde says it is a human's world.
Exactly.
No woman, no human's world.
Yes.
All right. So, do you think that this man's world thing, has hurt the coexistence of both gender?
It has, like, hurts them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because number one thing I've come to realize is that when everybody's trying to form, okay, I'm a man, and putting the other gender in a position where, okay, you are not that important, it comes to a time. I think we even need to talk about historical patriarchy, because it comes to a time when women can't even vote.
Yes,
women can't have higher education. Women can't. And for people like me, when I began to see feminism going up, I mean, people are fighting for. So I was feeling being attacked. Because I was like, I'm being attacked for what I don't even know anything.
Okay, so I'm a woman here, and this might come out as shock to you, but then there's also toxicity in feminism. There are women who are being truly mean, and are not balanced in their view of how they see men.
Exactly.
So, are you saying that is a man's world thing? Is what is fueling feminism, the toxic feminism?
First, please, the toxic feminism for me, I don't see why I don't see why it came up in the first place, because I believe, okay, this is how things has been, like, since time being
immemorial.
Yeah. So why would you guys just come up and start giving in this our world today? So you should not. I think the best approach to it is having diplomacy. Like, let's have conversations like this. Let's educate people in the right way, in the best approach, not going to that level of being, very mean, very toxic and all. So I think men has a very they have a very great role to play in that aspect of letting women see that, okay, we are willing, we understand the way you guys feel, we are all human, so we understand the way you guys feel, and let us have this, let's agree on the best approach to have to settle this this
All right.
kind
So excuse me. So you said that you've had attacks, when you were supporting women, you were supporting feminism and all that.
Well, the point I was trying to make then was that when feminism like came up, and I began to see more of it, I was feeling attacked.
Oh, you were feeling attacked.
Yeah, exactly. Because
why?
I was like, we guys of nowadays in the modern world today, we are not that. For me, it's just my own personal perspective. Like, we are not really patriarchy in that as it was. Yeah,
authoritarian.
it's like so it was frustrating that why does this kind of thing come up like this, and so and that would take us to the point where let's see how we can contribute.
Yes, how do you handle that?
Yeah.
When you feel such attacks, like, okay, women are saying men did this, men do the sexual abuse, men do the emotional abuse, what again today do we accuse men of doing? And then that you have, even if you don't have, you have an experience of patriarchy, for example, because you come from a polygamous family.
Yeah.
However, in your head, that you're thinking differently than all of this. How do you then navigate all of this without being confrontational?
Yes. Number one, how I'm being able, because I'm still trying, because I'm being able to cope is that I examine my own biases. So I tend to just reflect, okay, in what way have I, even though sometimes our actions might not be intended. Some of our actions are unintended because it's a norm, in quotes, it is a norm. Like, people see it as, okay, a normal thing. In some areas, especially when it has to do with politics and social, economical, owning of properties and all that. So some people see it as a norm. Like, he's a man that's supposed to. So in some areas, I might have even done something unintended. Like, I might not be aware. So I tend to first examine my own biases. Like, okay, is there any way I've also done something like this before that surrounds, that stands, that perpetuates patriarchy? So, and another thing is, what I do is I try to listen to women's experience. Yeah,
that's interesting.
I try to listen to women's experience. And
do you have a sister?
Sure, I have a younger sister.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have a younger sister. I have elder sisters, step sisters. Yeah, so, and I just try to listen to not even my friends. I have my female friends. So I try to listen to their perspective and show empathy to let them know that you guys are very much appreciated.
Okay, so I just want to know that for you then, what is masculinity? Who is a man?
A man is the question is kind of tricky, okay, because for me, a man is someone that how can I put it, is in a sense that relating to life, a man takes the responsibility of, showing what it takes to be able to understand how this because God made man first. So, and when he made man, he made woman as a helper. So if the woman is made as a helper, so a man is just like someone that is God has put in the world to take charge somehow. So
On his
and
behalf.
yes, on his behalf, and he's not taking charge. He's not when God now said, when God was speaking to man, that when God was speaking to them, he wasn't talking to man only. He said dominate. So he wasn't talking to man only. He spoke to both man and woman, that they should dominate. So when a man is taking charge, he's not taking charge all over women. He's not taking charge over women. He's taking charge of his own word, as being someone that God has put on earth, and women also to take charge of their own word too. So a man is someone I see as someone that can, that can see life in a way that, okay, everybody is everybody is equal. Gender, there shouldn't be any kind of a gender inequality. Gender in fact, it has gone to the extent of sexism, misogyny, and all. So those aspects are something that it calls for awareness. So that's just what I think.
All right. Okay, so because this is interesting for me, because I would, the reason, for those who are listening, the reason I decided, or I worked towards making sure that the first person I brought on, I'm going to bring a lady on who is a Gen Z also. I'm going to work on that to get a lady also who is a Gen Z, and let's see how this gender roles and gender dichotomy tends to affect people, because I'm always considering, why are we doing this? Like you said, we're all human. We should be human first, but then there will be roles.
Yes,
there's some things a man can do.
Exactly.
A whole lot of things a man can do that Oluwatomishi as a woman.
And then you say that, well, what a man can do, a woman can do. Well, I don't know. All those ones are just, words that's true, that we just used to, maybe, I feel they're just words that we used to tell women, like, just give them hope. Like, okay, yeah.
I have a feminist on my hand, guys. Maybe you're right, maybe you're not. All right, but if you have said some things now, that the way you are navigated is to listen to your female friends and to share your own, and you're a very retrospective person. So as we round this off, how do you think that we can find a balance? Because it doesn't look like it's going anywhere. Every day on Twitter, there's one guy that is attacking the woman. There's a lady that is responding with all of the bitterness and all that. So, because these are the things that affect our mental health.
In the first place, if everybody can just take their time, everybody can just, when those kind of things happen, the first thing is, I try not to take critics. I try not to take it personal. But everybody, the way everybody reacts to things are different. So the way individually we react to things is very different. So those when I see those kind of things on Twitter, I try to avoid them. But at the same time, another part of me wants to see what is really causing, what's really going on, and okay, if those kind of things how they are being erupted. Number one, I don't even know how it come about. I can't seem to comprehend. I can't fathom it, because it just keeps me bothering. If I'm going to pay, if I'm going to dwell on that, I might just be roaming around like, wow, I might not really figure out what. So I think the main thing is, I don't. We should not try to take, even as men or as women, we should not take critics. Let's everybody let's maintain perspective as emotional regulation. Like I don't know how to say, if there's a way I can preach this word, we are human. I don't know how to put it away. I don't know. Let's
I can see how much it bothers you. Okay, so genderism, of course. Yeah, when I say genderism, in as much as I respect everyone who's identifying or who are identifying as whatever it is they're identifying, and I say that with all due respect, somebody's asking me how this affects mental health or can actually cause mental health questions, because a lot of even this, and this is not just women, even men, microaggressions, the aggressions that we throw at men, just like you said, you felt attacked personally when women started coming up with stories and all that, which in turn was questioning. I don't know, this is just me assuming, questioning, okay, me, a man, how I can do that. I can, these microaggressions, if you do not, like Kehinde said now, if you do not question your own biases and how you relate with those biases, you will bleed on someone that has not hurt you, and that will just begin to affect the way you think, and then of course you see bullying, you see harassment, and this goes both ways. In the world that we are, patriarchy, feminism, and or matriarchy,
it is very rare.
You think?
Well, I think.
You think? Okay. Yeah. All of these things, we're just causing ourselves more pain than we should or we could. We need, of course, there's going to be pushbacks here and there, or you're going to have challenges as we move through life, but one of them shouldn't be why you are a man or why you are a woman. Just like Kehinde said, let's all be human.
Simple.
Okay? Simple. So as we round this up, what would be your last words?
All right. Firstly, I would like to say that being patriarchy is I've never seen good side, because it's to be very honest, personally, I've never seen the good side. More we have the it has a lot of disadvantages, and let us note that it also affects man. Patriarchy, it affects man. In what way? Okay, because man is a kind of gender that loves to show expression, emotion. So like we want to express ourselves, sometimes there's some expression that you want to show that man to man can't really we can't, it doesn't really it can't blend. But it is when the opposite gender, you can show your expression. But when patriarchy has taken charge, has taken place, and everybody is going in that manner, men will find it hard to show their expression. There will be less expression. Everybody will just be, even in form of a man to man, we will still be feeling that authority. I can't do this. I can't. You get so. Let's embrace equality. Let's also come to realize, and let it also sound mindfully. Let it be mindful in our mind that we are human. That's the first thing. That's the first that's what we are first, before we can even say, okay, I'm a man, I'm a female. We are first human. So it is just a way to let's also promote, let's tend to listen to women's perspective. As a man, I'm talking to the man now. That's how we can also contribute. Now let's listen to women's perspective. Let's remember that feminism ultimately benefits men too. Yes.
How? That's interesting.
Number one, it ultimately benefits men by allowing fuller self-expression. That was what I was saying.
Okay.
Because it allows self-expression and less rigid gender roles. Yes.
Okay.
Because if it's all about masculine and all that, there won't be that. Men won't really have that expression. We won't be able to have that self-expression as much as we ought to. Also, let's support women's leadership. That's another aspect that I was even hoping that we're going to women's leadership and all. Yeah, let's support it, because in a general sense, everybody will think that okay, it's only men that can take leadership roles and all that. No, let's support it. That's the way you can contribute and all that. So if everybody can also try to examine their own biases too, so I think that will also go a long way.
All right. Okay, so addressing mental health effects of genderism, I tell you, it will require both individual and societal efforts.
Exactly.
We need to promote acceptance. We need to respect one another. We need to understand diverse gender roles and identities and expressions. I say that with a little bit of reticence, but we always provide access to supportive mental health care. I know what annoys what makes Gen Z say I'm protecting my mental health is this question of them thinking that, this section, this gender is going to take, before you do that to me, I'm going to give you back to you hot. But can we all just breathe? Can we all just breathe? Protect ourselves, understand your own biases, understand your own prejudices. Okay, take time to stop, to breathe, to notice, to reflect, to rest, and then resolve and then move forward. Just like you heard Kehinde say through this conversation today, even him didn't know that most of his isolation was because it was from a polygamous home. And that also influenced in some way the way that he has come to see Patriarchy. So we all are informed, or we are all a summation of our orientation, the things that we've gone to experience and all of that. Like I said, I'm going to work to get a Gen Z female into the studio and see how we can also hear from their yes, they will be talking or whoever the person is, or if they're going to be two, whichever way, or sanity, maintaining sanity in the face of patriarchy and toxic feminism. If there's anything like, everything is toxic if it's too much. If it's too much, everything has to be moderate. Thank you very much, Kehinde. Appreciate it. Short notice, and you gave. I'm so grateful.
Thanks for having me. It's such a privilege.
Thank you very much. Okay, and that's how Mindfully with Tunmise has gone this week. Remember that this is an offshoot of my book, Living Mindfully, A Journey to Being. And some people who already know the story were wondering, why am I supporting men who are trying to... Don't worry. One day, we'll tell that story. But if you will, please get the book on Amazon on Roving High. So just go to blackimages.com. You'll find that in the show link. Where can we find you, Kehinde?
You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, at Jude Kenny Wise. Jude Kenny Wise.
Jude Kenny Wise. Thank you very much for being part of this day. I'm so grateful.
Thank you.
And I hope that we'll be able to balance this out and then get older people. And then I hope I'll be able to get a 50-year-old here.
I'm looking forward to that.
So that we can talk about, even if it means me going to meet the person, just tell me. I will carry my kaya and go meet the person and would have this conversation, because we need to start towing a balanced line so that we can raise a more aware and balanced future. Thank you very much. You know how I say it. Love yourself. Love your neighbor. Love this country, or your country. Above all of this, love God. He is the essence of your being. Until next time, be good to you. Discover the perfect place for hair magic at 1505 Beauty Lounge. This unisex and children's beauty salon is where style meets fun. Your locks will shine, your kids will giggle, and everyone will leave with an experience that is different. Visit 1505 Beauty Lounge today at number 1 Salami Street, Mainde, Maryland, Lagos.